The most popular student in her class, Kyouko Hori, dresses simply at home and takes care of the housework. Hori learns that Miyamura has tattoos and body piercings outside of school, but they both agree to maintain each other's secrets. As Miyamura continues to stop by to play with Soda, they get close and become friends. During this, Miyamura unintentionally reveals his true self to Yoshikawa while en route to assist Hori in purchasing eggs during a flash sale. In the meantime, a classmate named Toru Ishikawa befriends Miyamura even though he has emotions for Hori and lets him know that he intends to confess to her. Until she confronts him, Miyamura keeps his distance from Hori, angry that he had ignored her to maintain her good name. The two reconcile, with Hori revealing that she had rejected Ishikawa. Hori discovers that she doesn't know Miyamura's first name while speaking to her mother. Hori uses several indirect learning strategies before Miyamura ultimately tells her. The student council at the school requests Hori's assistance with their papers. They later accuse her of losing the budget report, but Miyamura disproves their claims by admitting Rumi had lost it after unintentionally bumping into one of the members. They apologize while headbutting Sengoku, the president. Hori admits that she gave the student council a helping hand out of guilt. Miyamura presents Hori with a CD for her birthday as the pupils start their third year. Miyamura thinks back to his troubled youth when he was perpetually by himself at school, participating alone in all activities and all class projects. He notices that he has Hori, Ishikawa, and Yoshikawa when they unintentionally create a group with him. The following day, Rumi humorously claims that Hori and Miyamura are dating. But Hori refutes this. Rumi says that she's thought about dating Miyamura, and then suddenly Hori gets defensive over him. Hori and Miyamura compare hands after school, and she almost confides her sentiments to him. Miyamura denies having affection for Hori when Ishikawa confronts him about it, and the two of them fight. The two make amends to one another, and Miyamura tells Yoshikawa that Hori was to blame for their altercation. When Sakura assists Ishikawa in picking up her papers as the summer approaches, they fall in love. Ice cream is given to Miyamura by Hori, who also provides some to Ishikawa and Sengoku. After losing a game with their pals, Hori and Miyamura are forced to purchase a drink for the losers. Ishikawa erroneously believed what transpired between them. Hori becomes ill, and Miyamura takes care of her while learning more about the loneliness she feels. Miyamura expresses his feelings for her while he thinks Hori is dozing off. Soda reported seeing Miyamura with a different female while mistaking her for Shindo's girlfriend Chika. Hori gets unhappy and keeps away from Miyamura. He tries to make amends with her after admitting that Hori didn't throw her textbook at him for the same purpose. When Miyamura visits her residence to provide the textbook, both offer their apologies. Miyamura is allowed to explain by Hori, but her father Kyosuke interrupts them. Miyamura's relationship with Hori is confirmed, and they start dating. After learning of his affirmations to Miyamura that they are still friends, Ishikawa experiences a slump. Sakura confides in Rumi about her crush on Ishikawa in the meantime. She feels discouraged since Hori is more attractive than her, but Rumi sticks up for her and encourages her. When Miyamura spends the night at Hori's residence, the other students learn that they are dating. He decided to chop off his hair and give up wearing spectacles out of concern for how his reputation is influencing hers. Other girls start to notice this, which makes Hori envious. Shindo waits for Miyamura to share candies with them after school. Hori consumes a rather bitter candy, and Miyamura tries to entice her by kissing her. For the first time, Miyamura gives a kiss. The girls are still drawn to Miyamura's new appearance, and first-year student Hanoka Sawada declares her to be Miyamura's opponent for Hori's affections. Miyamura sees Sawada waiting for Hori after school, but he claims that Hori arrived home earlier. He finds Sawada's pursuit of him annoying. Miyamura discovers Sawada is his next-door neighbor, and that a year ago, Sawada's brother passed away. His understanding of her predicament grows as he builds a bond with her. Ishikawa knocks Sakura, causing his uniform to get dirty. In return for Ishikawa lending Sakura his jersey to cover a stain, Sakura bakes cookies. Yuki develops envy. When Yuki begs Miyamura for assistance preparing cupcakes, the results are scorched. Ishikawa observes this and continues to eat it, encouraging her to bake more. For 5 days, Miyamura travels to Hokkaido to attend a funeral. The battery on Miyamura's phone goes out. Hori won't be reachable for a full week. Hori is impatiently awaiting his return. They share a heartfelt embrace the day he returns. The girls advise Hori to act submissive around Miyamura by acting terrified in a horror film, but she scares Miyamura. Hori feels ashamed, but Miyamura reassures her that he loves her the way she is. He stays the night at her home, where they have a sexual encounter. In his dream, Miyamura sees his younger self and tells him that he would eventually meet his buddies. Rumi remembers the day they first met, and the moment Sengoku confessed to her as well as her friendship with him. Hori's masochistic side is shown by Miyamura as she consistently coerces him into hitting or yelling at her, which he compels himself to do. Ake Yanagi, a student from a different class, invites Yoshikawa out. Yoshikawa asks her friends for assistance and one of them proposes playing the role of her lover. Yoshikawa rejects Yanagi's confession, but the group nevertheless welcomes Yanagi. Tanahara, a former classmate who bullied Miyamura in middle school, bumps into him. Tanahara continues to converse with him until Hori beats him and his pals. She persists in pressuring Miyamura to treat her harsher, and when he reluctantly caves, Tanahara and his pals are unintentionally startled. Nozauchi, who was initially called to him, meets Miyamura. He has a crush on Hori, yet they can begin dating despite this. In his dream, Tanahara thinks back to a day when he accused Miyamura of killing their school's rabbit. He pays him a visit at his cake store, where he is warmly welcomed and told to come back soon. He apologizes to himself for what he did. Later, with Miyamura being able to look back on those years with greater fondness, Hori and Miyamura discuss their middle school years. After becoming more intimate with everyone, Hori becomes envious of Miyamura's closeness to Tanahara, Shindo, and the other males. When Sakura finds that Ishikawa and Yuki are allegedly dating, she is upset. Yuki, on the other hand, withdraws into herself, unsure of how to express her affection for him. Ishikawa informs her that Sakura confessed to him. But instead of seeking clarification, he moves on to encourage Yuki by gushing about all the things he adores, snow, or Yuki in Japanese, and how eager they are for it to come. Later, Sengoku comforts a devastated Sakura over her rejection. Miyamura was first concerned about losing his friendships with the boys, but he also grows close to Yanagi. Sawada begins to feel more at ease with the males, but she struggles with the obnoxious Iura. She becomes concerned as he silently aids her one day, oblivious to his illness. Even though he despises her, the next day he returns to normal. When Makoto's teacher predicts she won't be admitted to her top choice high school, she becomes dejected, but Luru encourages her to keep trying. Ira asks Hori to be her instructor. The siblings secretly hope that the other doesn't despise them when they converse with one another. Hori invites Miyamura to attend Christmas dinner, but he declines since he must go to work, disappointing Sota and Kyosuke. Toru chats to Sengoku and Lura about his affection for Yuki, even if they aren't romantically involved now. Later, they go to play at his place, where they become more and more nervous and embarrassed by him messing with them. Each of the characters enjoys a day of relaxation with their families and loved ones on Christmas. Miyamura spends some time in the Hori home. Hori considers what will happen after the kids graduate high school as he makes his way home from work. He reacts by suggesting that they get married when Hori says she wants to stay with him even after they graduate. As they reflect on their futures, the two continue to spend the new year together. The students clear out their lockers as the conclusion of the school year draws near. Rumi wants to go on a trip with the rest of her friends, but she is concerned that they might drift apart in the future. Her friends comfort her that they will all stay friends. Miyamura muses on how different his and the other students' school lives may have been if he hadn't unintentionally run upon Hori. During Sengoku's speech at the graduation ceremony, Miyamura unintentionally sneezes, generating a commotion. He then speaks to his former self, telling it that he would no longer turn a blind eye to who he once was. Kyosuke shows up to play pranks on Miyamura, Sawada bids Hori farewell. Yanagi suggests to Yuki that their group go on a trip together someday. Hori and Makoto show up to accompany Luru home as she notices her brother's altered demeanor at school. Miyamura and Hori go off together as he muses over the qualities he admires in her, the things she has done to encourage him to come out of his shell, and what